Hey, so today I want to do a video talking about why I think you should think of yourself as running a local media company and not just a local newsletter. So, first thing, yes, I know the channel is called Local Newsletter Insider. Realistically, I'd rather call it Local Media Insider, but the common term on Twitter and around the entrepreneurial world is local newsletter, so that's why we call it that. But I think the big picture is you need to be more than a local newsletter. Local newsletters are great. They're where the value is. You own the audience. You're able to show them exactly what you want them to see. There's no clicking around. There's no algorithm, et cetera, et cetera. So we all know why local newsletters are so valuable. However, I think to make this a truly powerful brand with the goal of making six figures or really having the community see you as a leader so that they want to buy your product for your local business that you have, like home services or real estate, whatever, you need to be seen much more than just as a newsletter. So let me get into a little bit of some specifics of why I think this and things you can do to become more than a local newsletter. Now, before I even get started, let's make it clear. Yes, this is a lot more work. So for those of you maybe just doing this as a side hustle, just, you have a full-time job, you don't need to make a ton of money right now, you're just doing it casually, fine, keep doing what you're doing. But if you're trying to make this a real thing and have a true impact on your community and be around for the next 20 years, you've got to be more than a local newsletter. So, here are some things that I think you should do and what that means. So the first one is the one that I've done some of these already, but the one that I just launched this week, which I'm really excited about, and I'm going to show you here, is having a full website. Now, this one might be the most, I don't know, controversial is the right word, or there's definitely some downsides and some ways to think about this, because it may, depending on how you do it, lower the value of your newsletter. So again, let me show you first, and I can kind of explain what the pros are, and then what the potential risks are that I think can be mitigated. So here is my new website. So first of all, Beehive, launched their full website builder, which is what this is. You do have to be on the max plan. So most of you probably couldn't do this right now. Maybe by the time you see this, it'll be available. But you don't have to use Beehive to do this. I just like to do it because it's all in one. I hate connecting things and hoping things get ported over. So that's why I was excited, and I just waited for Beehives to be able to do it. So number one, I think this looks, my opinion, and I've gotten some opinions from some others that agree with me, that I think this looks really good. It looks really professional and sleek, which again is the model that I'm going for, right? I want to be the local media company in town that people trust. And again, and I want them to see me more than once a week or twice a week or only when they get the newsletter, right? That's also one of the big problems with the local newsletter, which I have on my list to go over in a second, but I'll just go over it now, is your readers may love it and say, oh, this is so great, it helps me so much, but nobody else knows it exists if they don't get your newsletter, right? So you may have 5,000, maybe even 10,000 subscribers who all love it, but if your town has 100,000 or 200,000 people, nobody knows you exist other than the people getting your newsletter. And that's what you want to solve for if you're trying to get advertisers and if you're trying to make more of an impact than just on those 10,000 people. So that's one of the keys here, is really just perception. Number one is perception. Number two, well, yeah, here, I'll show you the site first real quick. If you're listening, go jump on a video on YouTube. So, we've got restaurant section, the local podcast I'll get into in a minute. Oh, look, this just came up, which is exactly what I wanted, although it took longer than I wanted, so that wasn't good. But it asks people to subscribe right when they land on the page, right? You see that on other websites. We have business section, news section, old newsletters, all this stuff. And with Beehive, it's easy to structure this. Number one, this is a template. So this is Beehive. They have 20 templates right now. This is one of them. So that aspect was easy. We didn't have to actually do any design. Number two is all of these sections are just tags, right? So when we create a post, like this is a specific post about Chick-fil-A coming here, all we do is tag it as a restaurant post. And then this is a restaurant section that just automatically pulls in anything that has a restaurant tag. So it's not that complex. It did take quite a while to get this all set up perfectly. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of little things you got to do. So it took some real effort. But now that that's done, getting things to post where they go is just automatic because we just tag it as a business or a local podcast or news, and it just goes where it goes, right? Okay, and then yes, we have the pop-up thing, which was cool, trying to get people to subscribe. Now, the downside here, of course, is the argument would be, well, why do people need your newsletter now if they can just go to your site and see the news? Or potentially, I do have it here to have my old newsletters here. So that's definitely potential problem. The way that I am looking at solving this now, I'm hoping Beehive. We don't even know if Beehive has this yet. I'm trying to get in touch with them to find out. Is how on a lot of the paywalled articles, which is so many news sites now, when you open it, it will just show you like the first 2 paragraphs, let's say, and then you scroll down, it says, oh, you have to, pay us to read the rest. That's what I want to do, except you don't have to pay. You just have to give me your email, right? So to me, that's going to be the solution. Is people can still see the site. They're going to look at it. They're going to be able to open it, see a little bit. And then all we're going to do is say, look, you can have this for free. Just give me your email. And I think most people will happily do that because they don't have to pay. If I was asking to pay, that would be, a totally different proposition. So that is the plan for solving the negative of, well, maybe people won't pay as close attention to your newsletter. They'll just go to your site when they want. I don't even think that's that big of a thing, but this would help mitigate that. Another huge value add to this is here. Actually, I'll just show you if you guys don't know about this, is Google News. So I actually just found yesterday, day before, some really big breaking news in my area that went kind of viral on I posted on Facebook. It went kind of viral. Everybody's so mad, which is, kind of a good thing for us. And where I found it was on Google News. So let me show you this. So right here, when you log into Google News, if you guys don't, first of all, it's great way to get curated news for things. But you can see right here on the right-hand side, they have local news. And so these are the 3 cities that I cover. I can't remember if I did this manually or not, or if it just knows based on my, my whatever data. This is, you can see there's Liberty Hill Independent. This is a small little local newspaper that's really tiny. And Community Impact, that's the one that I'm competing with the most and most direct competitor, what I'm doing. They are getting shared in here. So by having a newsletter is never going to get shared in here because you're not writing actual articles. It's just one long newsletter. Well, with the website, I am going to be, as you saw on the website here, I'll show you again. So now what I'm doing is say we're writing an average of 3 sentences in the newsletter about a news story. Well, when I'm done writing that, then we're writing a full news article about the situation and then posting it as its own article. So now for SEO, this should be really, again, I'm not an SEO expert. I'm going to start digging into that soon. But ideally, we become an SEO magnet and get posted on Google News and get lots of SEO value because we have full articles on a full website. Again, so this is why I'm really excited about having this full website. I think there's a lot of value here. The other thing we haven't done yet that, again, we need to figure out from Beehive is how do we do ads inside of the articles, right? So say in here, is there a way where, we can have an ad right here or maybe halfway down or something? I don't know. Obviously, that'd be a pain to just do manually, but that may be the answer, which wouldn't be the worst thing. But anyway, so that's another way you can make more money is by saying, hey, not only are we going to do ads in the newsletter, we're going to put it on, inside of articles on the website too. All right, so that's enough for now. If you have more questions about the full website idea, Beehive site, thoughts, of course, you could just use WordPress. Again, it's just a little more complicated, I think, to transfer things. But I do think this is worth doing. Okay, so some other things that you can and should do, I think, for being a local media company and not just a local newsletter. The other one, which I think I've talked about before, that's kind of obvious, is Instagram, right? I've talked to a bunch of people with large Instagram followings who do local newsletters and who are doing better with, selling ads, of course. And every single business, they're saying Instagram is huge for them. So it sucks because I do think Instagram, you need to be creating custom content for it, videos primarily, which is a lot of work, right? So as with anything in life, there's trade-offs, right? The upside is more attention. Now people are seeing you more. It's easier to share. It's not really easy to share a newsletter. It's easy to share Instagram for people if you have something that goes viral or that people are really enjoying. And the other thing about Instagram is it's the public number of your brand. Okay. So I can't remember who told me this, but somebody did. And I think it makes so much sense, which is you could have 50,000 newsletter subscribers. And other than, telling those people maybe in the newsletter and say, hey, we have 50,000 subscribers, nobody knows. It's a hidden number, right? It's a secret. It's like, well, how much money is in your bank account? Well, nobody knows, right? So similar to, you may have a ton of money in your bank account, but nobody knows. Why do you think vanity things are so beloved by wealthy people, or people who aren't wealthy want to show it off? Oh, fancy purse, a Lamborghini, whatever. That becomes the public number of showing how successful you are, right? And so that's what Instagram is. Businesses and people can see, oh, you have 10,000, you have 50,000 subscribers, you must be doing really well. And so that's why I think Instagram is really important. On top of, again, it helps, like I said at the beginning, become more of a brand in your town and becoming a big deal that people see a lot more than in their email. Okay. Another one, putting on events. So I have not done this yet, although I talked to my wife. We're actually thinking about doing this soon. A few local newsletter creators, local media companies are doing this. Mike and Catskills is probably doing it the best, making legit money, $1,000 to $3,000 per event, which is awesome. Now, again, he's in a unique area with a lot of out of towners. I don't know, I assume it's easier for him than it would be for most people who don't have some unique angle in their area where events are more appealing to people. But I still think it's possible to do it. And another way to think about it too is, yeah, okay, Mike's making really good money doing this. We're thinking about doing it, and not even necessarily to make anything, really just building the brand, building relationships, getting people to feel connected to this brand and that this brand is doing valuable and interesting things in the community. So we're going to do, the one we're thinking about is more like, we have young kids. So like a family young kid event, get a bounce house, get, a food truck, do those kinds of things. And then of course, we're not going to pay for it because we will trade an ad spot for the bounce house company or food or a dessert plate, whatever it is. We'll just trade, probably. That's the plan. And I think people will come and love that. And it'll just be another angle of building this brand that people know, like, and trust. Another thing, this one I am doing, or partly, which is local podcast. So the local podcast idea is, number one, it's a great way to create shorts for social media. Again, an easier way to get content for Instagram. Plus you can post it as an interview if you do the full website. That's something I'm doing. I actually need to post the transcripts right now. We're just making it like an article. But the best part about the local podcast for interviewing business owners is now you're interviewing your ideal clients to become advertisers or to pitch your other business. Again, my bigger picture goal is to do like a marketing agency. And so getting in front of those business owners, now they know, like, and trust me. And it's like, hey, by the way, I also do, marketing. Are you interested in that? So it's an easy way to build relationships with people and give first, right? That's always my general thought on so many things. Success in life and sales, everything is give first, right? Number one, that's a psychological principle. If you haven't read Persuasion by Robert Cialdini from the 80s, highly recommend you read that book, because he talks about when you give something to someone, they want to give back to you, right? And so by you promoting them for free on your podcast, they're going to want to do something for you. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's going to sign up to give you money for ads or buy your marketing agency, but it will put you in their corner, and they'll think of you of, hey, I need to do something for this person because they did something for me. Maybe it's even just a connection. Hey, I'm really trying to get a hold of the hospital's marketing director. Do you happen to know them, or do you know somebody who might know them? That can be insanely valuable too. So highly recommend doing local podcast. Another angle that was brought up on my show, this show, Local Newsletter Insider, I can't remember, I think it was Alex, who brought up the idea of doing like a local show, not an interview podcast, but like a show for locals, by locals, just talking about the local area. So the easiest way to think about this, I really like this idea when you brought it up. If you're willing to do this and can be entertaining and I think you need somebody to do it with, probably not by yourself, more of like a chat type of show, is basically talk about everything in your newsletter or in the news, right? Or events. Hey, let's talk for 10 minutes, once a week. What's going on this week? And then just literally talk about what's in your newsletter. Hey, here's the news that happened. Here, oh, the freeway's going to open. Oh, they delayed it. What the hell's going on? Talk about that. Oh yeah, did you hear about this restaurant open? Yeah, I love that. And then, oh, what event are you most looking forward to this week? Oh, that, Easter egg hunt thing. My kids love that. Just chat for 10 minutes and try to become a place for people to hear what's going on in their town and get an audio, more relational version of your newsletter. I think that's a really cool idea. I do think you probably need at least one person to do it with, and you need to be entertaining, which is not always the easiest. But anyway, that's a cool idea. Some other ones, physical products. Again, this is a little much more difficult. I don't think it's as necessary, but I just wanted to bring it up because Mike is doing it with his Monopoly board, made a lot of money doing that, helping build his brand. Just something to keep on your radar. Are there physical products? Are there things related to your area that you could partner with somebody to put your brand on or to sell? Just a lot of possibilities there that I think are really specific to your area. Another one that I really want to do, again, I'm just worried about the difficulty, although I know some people are doing it and doing it well, is the local business directory. This is similar to the local podcast where it's an easy pitch to get in front of business owners of, hey, did you see this site? I built this to basically market you for free. Can you want to check it, make sure all the information's correct? Is there anything you want us to change, etc.? It's just an easy foot in the door to somebody to learn about your brand, learn how you're, in front of so many locals, and then see if they want to advertise. And the way the way I think about the business directory, I'm sure there's different ways to think about it, but I think you put everybody on it for free because you want it to have as much value as possible for the user. And then you just charge to be at the top, right? Think about it as like Google, right? Google, the top 3 slots are ads. Everything else is free to be there. And that's how I'm planning on doing the business directory when I get a chance to do it, when I feel like I have the right tech and it's easy enough and whatnot. I'm definitely going to do this one. And then lastly, right now is a local job board. Again, highly dependent on your area and how much sense it may make. But for me, I think it could actually work because I'm about 40 minutes from the big city. And so, so many jobs are in the city and a lot of people don't want to have to drive to the city. So having those hyper local, hey, it's only within 15 minutes of our area. And then you can promote it in the newsletter, right? That's the other problem for, Indeed. You're either way at the bottom of the list that nobody will ever find it if you don't pay, or you pay Indeed a ton of money to have it at the top, and then you're paying every time someone clicks on it. If you haven't had a business and tried to advertise jobs before, it can be really difficult. So having this job board, I think, can be super valuable. And you can imagine how that could just be a different page on the business directory site or on your full website. That's, again, what I'm trying to get to at some point. So those are just some of the ideas. I'm sure there's some that I'm forgetting right now, but I personally think to have true success in this model, you need to be a lot more than just a local newsletter. That is the foundation. It's the unique piece. It's the thing that most media companies, local media companies or newspapers or magazines, whatever, they don't understand. And if you're watching this, you obviously do. It's a huge advantage and you should start there or Instagram. That's probably another good one. I know some people have started Instagram first, but you've got to build out more, I think, if you want this to do more than just be kind of a side project. So hopefully that helps. If you have any thoughts, questions, anything else related to this you want me to go over, just let me know, leave a comment, email me, check out my website for all the stuff that we do. We can help you launch your local newsletter. We can partner with you. We can do consulting, whatever you need. Check out the website, localnewsletterinsider.com. All right. Thanks.